Do you want to have 300,000 followers on LinkedIn? I know it sounds cheesy. I know it sounds like I'm trying to sell something. I am not. Cory Warfield, who's my guest today, has achieved that. He actually achieved tens of thousands of followers in a few months, and then 300,000 followers, which is what he has today, in about 3 years. In this incredible interview, he shares exactly what you need to do to achieve the same thing. Now, you may say, I'm not really a social media kind of guy. I'm not interested in all of this. But what Cory was able to achieve through having 300,000 followers on LinkedIn, the level of employees he can hire for his different companies, the level of financing and investment he was able to gain for the companies, the level of influence he can pull to achieve any goal he has in life has been exponentially higher because he has this impact on LinkedIn. Brilliant.
So what I teach people and what I encourage anyone listening to do, figure out what the content is that your targets, your archetypes are on LinkedIn to consume, to spend their 10 seconds, 30 seconds, 1 minute on, and then optimize your profile, right? The profile is when people are literally coming to you asking what you're doing. I say LinkedIn is a 24/7, 365 global networking platform, and your profile is literally someone coming up to you at this event and saying, hey, who are you? What do you do? So many people under their name on LinkedIn will put their title in their company, senior vice president at Tablature. I've never heard of Tablature. I'm not on LinkedIn looking for the senior vice president of a company I've never heard of. So many other people, I'm the CEO of XYZ company you've never heard of. That doesn't help me at all. It doesn't tell me what to do. It doesn't tell me how we can do business together. It doesn't tell me anything that's relevant or germane to that conversation. It's effectively going up to a conversation at a networking event and telling somebody, hi, I do sales, and walking away, right? It's bizarre, but most people do that.
So let's try to break this down to what needs to be on my title versus what, because we said what not doesn't need to be there. Don't just say you're the CEO of X. What should I put out there if I am the CEO of XYZ?
Yeah, so if people want to put to the CEO of a company, there's a great place for that. It's called your experience. And people that want to see what you're doing will scroll down there and see that you're the CEO of the company. So it's still on your profile. It's just not what people need to see next to your name every time it comes up. So what I encourage people to do is think of something that's going to resonate with their target right there. So it can be something like, I've scaled and sold 2 companies and now help people raise money. There are people looking for that on LinkedIn. All of a sudden, and then they can scroll down and see which companies are the CEOs of, which ones you sold, right? That's all available information on the profile. But how much more is that going to resonate with someone? There's a million people on LinkedIn today looking for an investor. If it says that you've done it twice, been there, done that, now you're helping people do it, the right people are going to reach out to you. And the other huge missed opportunity on the LinkedIn profile is the banner. Some people have no banner. Some people have the banners, them jumping out of an airplane. That tells nobody anything, and it's your billboard. And so I think when people can understand that you can get the right people to your profile and then speak to them instantly, that banner is your sale. That's your hard pitch. They're expecting it. That's a great placement for it. Make it fun, make it original, make it a little funny if you can. I used to have an old picture, a 100-year-old picture with the guy taking a pee, right? And his pants are around his ankles, and it said, don't get caught with your pants down. Predictive scheduling laws are here. We can save your companies millions of dollars. CFOs get it, right? And people would reach out to me every day, go, your banner just cracked me up. And guess what? Most people didn't care about or know about scheduling laws.
So what do I need to put there that will make it interesting for people to go the next step?
It can be anything. If you're a speaker, have a picture of yourself on a stage doing a TED Talk and put some nice bright letters in the right corner. It's not going to get covered with your profile picture, and say something like, I changed lives speaking to junior executives, right? It's people that are junior executives don't need to lean into that because it's not your target, right? That's where I start to encourage people to get strategic, right? How do you speak to your target audience and your prospects? Another one the right people, right? So at this point, we're assuming and trying to get the right people there, but we don't know. We're hoping that resonates with them. But the people with whom we get to your profile that read that are really going to lean in are going to go to what next? Your about section. So many people's about section is either written in the third person, right? Best case, it seems like you paid someone $20 on Fiverr to write about you. Worst case, it sounds like you wrote about yourself in the third person. That's all ridiculous, right? That's where you should tell about yourself as a story. And that's literally someone at the networking event that's come up to you, said, hey, what do you do? And you said, this is what I do. And they said, okay, tell me more about yourself. It's literally called the about section. That's where people want to know about you. So it's not about, I'm a Black Sigma certified, these 3 award winning person that you want to get on the phone with nobody cares about that. It's something like this. When I was 12 years old, I broke my arm and had to take a summer out of being social. That was near that the internet was starting to boom, and I learned a lot of lessons. I learned that I had access to every bite of information via Google. I started my first company connecting, textiles with designers. That landed me in a scholarship in a national university, and that's where I learned how to help entrepreneurs scale their companies. If you're looking to scale your company, let's have a chat. Now it's about getting content that people actually want to see. A lot of times it's 5-second videos that'll make them laugh. A lot of times it's 3 lines text only. I put a quote the other day that ended up getting shared out like 500 times because it just resonated with people. It wasn't intended to teach people. It was asking people what their take is on something that I thought that I was, having an epiphany on, and people love to be asked their opinion. So that's the next thing about the strategy on the content.
I was always curious about that. There's people out there that I follow that have a lot of followers who kind of do the same thing, and they share stuff that is, I would call random, right? It's cool stuff that people want to watch, right? So it has the binge worthy effect. I want to see the stuff that this guy's posting. It has nothing to do with what they do, the services they offer, the value they bring. It's literally just stuff that people would want to watch. I'm struggling with that, right? Because I'm like, I want people to know, what is it that I'm good at? What is it that I do? What kind of value can I provide?
But here's the thing. If your audience loves cat videos, you're doing yourself a disservice to not put them out there. If that's not your archetype, then don't put them out there just because they'll get a lot of views, right? But so many people are going, I'm not going to put cat videos out there. I've probably got 5 million views on cat videos alone on LinkedIn, literally. I don't like them either. I don't put them up very often. But what I understand is that if I put a cat video, and if my entire post says something like, I wish everyone has an amazing week, that post may or may not do well. It may or may not get a lot of views. It may or may not get me a couple hundred followers. That post is not going to get me any business, right? But if I find that same cat video, and if I think that my target audience is going to like a cat video, so I humble myself when I put it on there, but my post that I write with it is something like, who let the cat out of the bag? Shedwell just raised our multi-million-dollar round to help scale in the quick serve industry. What wins are you celebrating? And who should I be thinking to have on my podcast next month? Please tag them in the comments. All of a sudden, that little cat video was just a vessel. That was a way to get more eyeballs, to find out that I just raised a couple $1 million, that, right? And the algorithm loved it. The algorithm put out to second and third connections, lookalikes to the people that are my top engagers. And so sometimes it really is a top of funnel, bottom funnel, or a wide net to cast with that type of content.
Okay, what about tagging and hashtags? How much do you use those frequently?
So there is a lot of strategy behind hashtagging, less strategy behind tagging people. A few things I'll say quickly: only tag someone in your post itself that will engage with it organically in the first hour. Don't tag someone that won't engage. That'll absolutely impede the performance of the post. In messages, or in comments rather, I see a lot of people tag 100 people in a comment. I used to do that as well. 3 years ago, I did it. It probably catalyzed some of my early growth, but you have to think about it strategically. Do people want to see their name with 100 other names? Not necessarily. And sometimes people will say, here's some people to follow and all these names, there's not a huge value add. So if people do want to take the time, and you can't automate it, so it's time consuming and laborious, but if people want to take the time to tag 100 people in their comments, they will likely hit those 100 people's news feeds. They may get those 100 people to engage with the post. So that might be how your post get 100 likes. But what I would tell you is chunk it out into maybe 10 names per comment so that people don't feel like they're just another name and another number. And it's just this little dynamic shift of saying, here are some amazing entrepreneurs doing amazing things, then tag the 10 people. Here are 10 coaches that you should absolutely look at if you're looking to work with a coach, tag 10 people. Here are 10 people with podcasts that you should check out, tag those 10 people. And now those people feel like you're actually doing them a favor, right? They're saying, okay, this person is letting people who want to do a podcast know that I can produce it or whatever it might be. So that those two strategies work. The hashtag thing, you can ride the wave of a hashtag, but so often people are using hashtag growth, hashtag community, hashtag business development with like 1 million followers. That's the red ocean. That's where the sharks are having a feeding frenzy. That's never going to get a lot of visibility. But the one thing that I encourage people to do is come up with their own individual hashtag. Use that every time. People start to follow that. And when they do, then your stuff will necessarily hit their news feeds, which is great. That's a way to guarantee more visibility. The other thing that that can do is when people go and check that hashtag, they can see all your old posts. So it's a good way to catalog them.
What was the first things you did, you tried, you tested, you developed in order to make this work in the beginning? Because this is where most of us common people are right now, listening to this thing saying, oh my God, I can practically get to 300,000 followers because this guy did.
Oh, it's absolutely anybody could do it. I'm not special. What worked for me, and it would work for people if they're willing to, is I did videos of myself. I recommend not doing that too often. People get sick of you. No one's on LinkedIn to watch someone else talk. But those videos got me probably a fast track to 10,000 followers. So putting videos of myself got me growing fairly quickly. And then somewhere around that 10,000 mark, I realized I felt like a jerk because I was putting out these 3 to 5 minute videos of myself. And I was running a company and all these things. I didn't have time to watch other people's videos. I didn't want to watch other people's videos. And so I wasn't doing it. So I put out a post and ended up going viral. They basically said, I'm not going to do videos anymore because it's not fair. I'm not watching any of your guys' videos. And how can I ask you to watch mine if I'm not watching yours? So I'm not going to do it. And the post caught fire for me back then. I think I got 100 likes and 10,000 views or something, which for me was a lot of views and a lot of likes. I said, wow. So I stopped doing videos for maybe 2 months, and I was still growing. I was still posting. But I had so many people reaching out going, Cory, what happened to your videos? We miss your videos. We love your videos. And I was thinking, this is so weird. Like I tell these people I'm not watching their videos. I'm telling them, why are they asking me for my videos? So I came up with a concept. And this is when I started using a hashtag that I created, which is called Value in 30. I said, I'm going to make 30-second videos. I'm going to get on and give one pointer, one thing that I'm thinking about, one question, whatever it is, something that can, it doesn't need to be teaching, but just something that I think is relevant, that I think some people might benefit from somehow. Maybe they'll laugh, who knows? I'm going to do it in 30 seconds. I'm going to put a caption, right? Closed caption. So they don't even need sound. If they're hard of hearing, if they're deaf, whatever, they can still resonate with this. And so 30 seconds with a caption, and that's what I'm going to do. And we'll see what happens. And what I'll do is I'll then commit to watching anyone else's 30-second video that uses the hashtag and the caption so that I don't need volume in case I'm here. So that's what I said. I've got 30 seconds. I don't think so many people are going to do it that I won't have time to watch. So I started doing them. And next thing you know, 100 people were doing their own Value in 30 videos. That's what really, within maybe a month and a half, 2 months, I went from 10,000 to 30,000 followers. Everybody wanted to see these 30-second videos. And I didn't feel nearly as bad. And so I think most people can adopt that strategy if they want to. The hashtag's still going strong. People still do Value through 30s, these couple of years later.